Welcome back to How to Souls. My name is Rach and today we're going to continue with our 100% walkthrough of Elden Ring. Last time we finally beat the quote-unquote first boss in the game, Margit the Fell Omen. He's your first actual challenge, definitely, but he should never be your first boss. And I hope that's what you're sort of learning from this walkthrough, is that the thing is with Elden Ring is that definitely play smart, not hard. There's lots of easy things that you can do first before tackling actual challenges. So we got a decent amount of runes from Margit, but because of the level that we're at, I think we can get like 1 level. 2 levels. Okay, so we're gonna put this into Vigor because Vigor is like, you can do anything with high Vigor. High damage is good, but what you're gonna find is gonna make more of a difference to your gameplay, and like the number of times you die is literally just like your health. Just get Vigor health. Before we actually go into Stormveil, there's a couple of things that you can pick up just from the front gate here. But if we chat to this laddie just inside the gate, this is Godrick. He's a curious guy. The first thing you'll notice is that he does look like... Oh, actually, we haven't really met anyone that looks like him yet. There's a lot of guys that look like him in the castle, but this guy's the only one that's sort of still got some semblance of sanity. So he says, yep, the front gate is locked. Why don't you try going around the back? You'll find it's much safer. The guards don't know about it. You'll breach the castle undetected, which is all very well, but obviously that takes a lot longer. So what I quite like to do is say, no thanks, I'll use the main gate, and I'll just go straight through the main gate. It's like less than half the time that it takes just to like quickly run through. The only thing is, it's like super dangerous. So you would only really do this if you were like on a subsequent playthrough and you were like trying to speed run through here. And I guess I'll show you why, just for hacking, you know, posterity. But you're gonna take the side route going around the back, because there's more like things to pick up. But just to show you here, if you can't be arsed for whatever reason, here's how you go through the front gate, if you like. You'll have to come here eventually, but I will show you how to get around the other side of it. But yeah, this place is filled with these guys manning these like ballistas, firing lots of arrows at you. So I like to stick to the right and just sort of spam roll, really. You can survive like 1 hit, but not 3. If we keep sticking to the right and then just sprint straight through to this opening, because there's a big heckin' scary lion boy just outside. What we're going to do is just quickly grab this grace. Now, this is going to save us a lot of time and effort later on, just doing this now. Like I said, we will come back here later, but just in case you weren't planning on 100% like exploding Stormveil Castle, you're going to want to pick up this grace just here from going through the front gate, which will save you a lot of time. Okay, I'm going to deal with this lion now. Which at our level now should not be a problem. We're just going to focus on stun locking him by getting a jump attack, and then maybe like follow-up sort of charge attack. They're super speedy, these like guys, but this one's got quite low health, thankfully. You can use your Ash of War to bob in and out with this guy, and yeah, you should take him down in a couple of hits. I used like all my buffs, which I think is like justified with these guys. They're kind of scary. Okay, lying down, we're not going to continue this way. We're going to go back and use the side door. So teleport back to the main gate. Right, these shinies, just leave them. Not worth it. Trust me, totally not worth it. We'll come back here later. The only way that you can get through this gate is if you say to Godrick, yeah, no, I want to take the main gate. Because if you say, very well, I'll take the side road, he doesn't open the gate. So I guess that's worth pointing out. You can open it yourself later, if you like. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but, you know, it's a walkthrough, so I want to be nice and detailed, you know? I want to give you lots of infos. Yeah, I realise at this point that I've missed a shiny back here. It's nothing game-changing, but I figured we better go back and pick it up just before we progress. You do never know when that random, like, shiny thing is going to end up being really useful. If not now, then later. But yeah, there's one just hanging on this body just here. We'll have to go around the other side to get that. But then through this opening here, That's how we get back around to the Grace, should you need it. And then from the Grace itself, if you sort of hug this wall on the right and head down the stairs here, got our first shiny here. Fuddle Calling Finger Remedy if you want to do some co-op. And then there's like a wooden walkway just here. I'm like pointing at my monitor, like you can see me pointing. That leads you to this little sluice, sewery type bit. Yeah, we got 2 fire grease there. So, I mean, that, you never know. Like free grease. You know, it's all right. It's worth picking up. Again, it just depends how thoroughly you want to go through this game. Personally, I loved, especially this Legacy Dungeon, Stormveil Castle, I loved like exploring every nook and cranny. I love how you can take an hour to go through the whole thing, or you can like run through it all in 10 minutes. It's such a well-designed dungeon. I love it so much. It's so good. Right. Enough bumming Elden Ring. Actually, no, let's never stop bumming Elden Ring. Let's continue. So we'll head along this cracked wall here, and there will be some guards now. The guards don't even know about this route. They do though. They've got guys like stationed right here, like up ahead. The first thing you're going to notice when you drop down here is there are birds. Birds with knives for feet. They are going to pop up a few times in this dungeon. They're scary, I guess, but they have such low health, it's not a big deal. This one dropped the weapon, Warhawk's Talon. That's not guaranteed. That's like a rare drop. Kind of cool. Just plucked it from one of its legs, I suppose. And then you get another grace, like pretty much right away. Legacy dungeons, it sometimes feels like they have so many graces, like lots of checkpoints, lots of shortcuts. It's never going to feel like it gets repetitive and frustrating redoing the content because it's tiny amounts of content. Right, up here we got a guy with a bugle that does get it out and blow it, and when he blows it, we couldn't have really gotten there that much faster. It's not a big deal. It just means that he alerts the rest of the guards that slowly, one by one, come and attack you. So one by one, we're cool with that. That's fine. But you can always retreat backwards if you find yourself overwhelmed. Try not to roll, obviously, because we're on quite a narrow walkway. Continuing through here, these little guys go down in one hit. This is what I was on about, how like the Gostock like looks like one of these guys, but like I realized we hadn't met them yet, so you probably didn't know what I was on about. On this lower level, we have a much bigger guy, so we're going to want to jump attack him to sort of stagger him, stun him. The more poise damage we can do, the better. We always want to like sort of try and stun lock stuff. That's how we're going to win with the Bloodhound Fang. And you can pick up the hook claws here. Claw weapons in this game and fist weapons in this game are so good for that reason. They do high amounts of stagger. But the hooks in particular, oh god, careful here. If I could talk to past rage, I would have not been talking about the hooks. I would have been talking about these obviously red exploding barrels. So just hang back, let them throw their fire bombs, sort of maybe tease them out a little bit. Let them throw their fire bombs and blow up the barrels and then run through when the coast is clear. Anyway, yeah, the hooks have bleed. They have really high attack speed and bleed build up, so you'll find you're proccing bleed really quickly with the hook claws. Plus, you look like Wolverine, which is great fun. But yeah, exploding barrels, there's a few of these. We've seen them before. I don't know how I flippin' derped so hard there. Be careful with this one especially, because when you go to pick up this butterfly, this guy's just going to throw this right away and you will explode, which does a lot of damage to you. Through here, the way to progress is through these boxes. Don't panic too hard if you like fall down. There's actually an item to get by falling down just there, so it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I'll go and get that later, methinks. This door here, it's free to open now. However, once we go in it, it will close shut. So be aware of that. There's an enemy in here that's a little bit trickier than your regular beans. We will need to either kill him or sort of very quickly run around him in order to escape. But yeah, he's got a great shield and he has Ashes of War. This Ash of War here that allows him to sort of charge at you with the wind attack. I'm just using my Ash of War, which is the stronger of the two, to take him down. Now you'll need to grab this rusty key here. That's how we're going to progress. But there is a chest in the back that you can also get that has the curved sword talisman. Which is all about charge attacks. So this will, which is all about guard counters. So if you're using a great shield and you are blocking with your great shield and then guard countering with a R2 attack, guard countering is really fun in this game. I do have a video explaining exactly how guard countering works, but basically if you're using a big heavy shield, this is going to be a good trinket for you. So with that down, Rusty Key is what we needed to progress, but there are a couple more shinies just here. This room, I feel like I've done it a million times, but it still like kind of confuses me. There's lots of like different levels, but I do like taking my time and like exploring it all. I just think it's so well designed. This is what the Rusty Key opens here, which allows us to get on this ladder and progress to the next room. Now, you may have noticed when we were shut in that room and everything went dark for a second that you heard a familiar voice sort of giggling. Now, those of you who have played Dark Souls might immediately think, Patches? Is this Patches? No, it's not Patches because we... Careful of that ambush, I suppose. Ramble, ramble, yap, yap. Careful of that ambush, I suppose. We've already met Patches. It wasn't Patches. It was, in fact, Godrick, who will be tailing us. After telling us to come this way, he follows us. I suppose he follows you if you go the main gate as well. Every time you die in Stormveil Castle, you might notice that you are missing roughly... Ooh, I don't think I meant to backstab there. I think I pressed the wrong button there. You're missing roughly 25% of your runes when you pick up your bloodstain. That is because Godrick, the wee bobag, is stealing them. He is stealing runes from us. So this might cause you to think ill of him and possibly want to kill him. And I think those feelings are justified. However, I implore you not to do this until we have from him all we need, because he has something that we want. So we'll use him and then we'll kill him. I'm jumping across here just to pick up these shinies across here, but this is not the way to progress. This is just us picking up all these extra little rooms here. Now, I chose to keep attacking this enemy, even though he had his shield raised, because I know that that was a weak shield and this is a weak enemy, and I would have more stamina than him. So I knew that I could break his guard before my own stamina was exhausted. Don't be tempted to jump down there. Even though it looks like you can, you can't. And here's our shiny to pick up here. Brick Hammer! So if you're enjoying the stagger in the Bloodhound Fang, but it's not quite staggery enough-y, and you want more staggery-ness, Pythagoras is staggerous, there's a hammer for you. Right, okay, so we're going back round here. This is where we got off the ladder, and then you can head up this stairway here. There's a couple of guys who are up to no good, just chilling here. Oh, there's just one guy. I had in my head there was two guys. There's a bit later on that has two of these little guys that I might have been confused with. And then we can head outside. This bit going up here, we're going to get to a shortcut. We're going to get to a grace, actually, very shortly. Like I mentioned, there's like loads of graces, loads of checkpoints in this dungeon, and all the dungeons, really. So never fear. I have missed a couple of things back there, but I do go back and get them. Because I'm like, welcome to my 100% walkthrough, where sometimes I do miss stuff. So I was like, I'd better go back for them. This guy in here is another Ash of War. I keep wanting to call him the Berenica Knight, because that's kind of, they remind me of those guys from Dark Souls 1. But I'd like to affectionately refer to these guys as the Codpiece Knights, because if you'll notice, when they die, they have a massive, massive dong protector. So they do Ash of War, this sort of like stormy Ash of War type stuff, but nothing's really going to give us much bother with our current toolkit. But we're going to find something that does, but not just yet. Just enjoy overpowering everything for now. For now. There's a drawstring fire grease there. So unlike the regular fire grease, the drawstring fire grease is applied really quickly, in an instant. So drawstring is what you would use. Here's the next grease, here we go. In combat, perhaps like just before a swing, where you might not have enough time to do the full animation for a regular grease. But because of that, it lasts a very short amount of time. I think it's something crazy like 15 seconds. They're really short. This is me going back to get those shinies that I missed. But now that we have the grace, we can just respawn at this grace without having to do this whole section again. So, could be worth picking up the grace. Firsties. Yeah, drawstring grease. Yeah, it's really, really short. But really fast. I think it's a worthy trade-off. I think both items have their own situational uses. Normal grease you would just put on like before you go into a fog gate or perhaps in between a phase transition. You know. I've jumped across here to get this shiny here. This is Centrina's Adders. However, that shiny up on the top there, I actually noticed when I was reviewing this footage, I did miss. But don't worry, I'm going to show you in just a bit through the power of post-production. There's lots of little like extra little bits that you can find in this dungeon, and it's probably what contributes to it being my favourite. It just feels very Dark Souls, lots of like a very clear path, but lots of like separate secret bits to find. He dropped some gloves which look pretty cool, but they're just a little bit too heavy. We'll find some better ones. This leads directly back to the Grace, but on my way back, I noticed I had missed another shiny, Golden Rune 2. So we're just gonna pick that up. And time for Rach from the future to quickly tell you how to get this last final shiny that we missed. I was disgusted when I found out that we'd missed this one, but I'm here to rectify the situation. We're gonna head outside and then up these stairs towards where the Codpiece Knight was. And then up here, up those stairs leads to the Grace. So from this room here, on the left, there is a tiny, teeny little ledge that we can drop down onto. And then follow it round to the right, where you might recognise this wall here with all the heckin' holes. This is how you get this shiny here, just by dropping down. And it's 3 arterial leaves, which you can use for crafting. A ball bag. Okay, I've headed back to the Grace. I feel like we need to make some progress now. I'm just like, maybe I don't need to worry about every single shiny. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that means a lot to you. We've got more of these birds with knives on their feet. So I have fire, which could potentially be quite dangerous because if you hit one of these exploding barrels with a firebomb, it's going to explode, isn't it? However, I can use this to my advantage and I can purposefully blow up the firebombs, but when I'm trying to do so, I do alert the birds who throw the barrels at me. So we're just going to like back off, run away, let them throw their barrels. They don't pick up another one, so just make sure they throw them and then you can take them on without worrying about the firebombs. These birds do come inside this room, ask me how I know, but we can use the door to slow them down and to split them up. So, Flame Sling. We need to really think about improving the damage on our pyromancy, but for now it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. The thing is, when you start to hybridize and use spells or just anything that uses FP, you then need to sort of split your healing flasks into FP flasks and it becomes a bit more complicated. So you can jump over this wall here. This is very important. This is going to lead us to something, well, fairly important. All right, so we're going to jump down here and then we're going to go left. And if you look across the side, you can actually land on this little narrow ledge here and make your way just around the wall to this broken piece of battlement. You can see the shiny just there. Pick up. Marred wooden shield we'll never use. And drop down again. Drop down one more time to this section here. And then literally just making our way down, 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 down. Yeah, here we go. When you get to this bit here, it will break. Don't panic. We're not going to take any fall damage. The rock broke our fall. We landed in the bushes. Aim for the bushes. There's a scarab here, which you do want to try and chase down, because it does have a Ash of War on it. Storm Assault, that's one that we saw Mr. Codpiece using. And up ahead we have probably the most challenging enemy, boss included, in Stormveil Castle, and that is this Crucible Knight. Challenging for a number of reasons. Number one, do not underestimate him. Number two, you're fighting him on quite narrow ledges. Number three, we're quite far away from a grace, so I guess that sort of heightens the stress for it. He has a great shield, which, as you can see, he will use to kick your flippin' ass. And yeah, and so on. I thought, like, do you know what? I'll just buff up. I'll be able to overpower him. But no, he has really high poise. So we're going to have to go to plan B. Plan B is you can run past him and then lead him up this ledge here. Now you can use this ledge to slow him down, or if you're really quick and he plays ball, you can use it to get a plunging attack on him. So he was a bit too fast, so we didn't quite manage it, but we did get a second to breathe. We can run in, get an attack, and then sort of like drop down off the ledge if we need a second to recover, etc. Crucible Knights, we haven't fought a Crucible Knight yet, because I was waiting until we got the Buckler. So this is our first Crucible Knight. They have a number of different attacks. When they get to half health, they start doing these incantations. Oh, this is perfect for a flip. I missed it. A plunging attack, I was going to say. Yeah, so these guys are hard. Please feel free to skip him for now, if you want. You get an incantation from killing him. Because we're going to get the Buckler. And when we get the Buckler, we can start parrying these guys. And not only is it a lot more fun, but I actually think it's a lot more easy to deal with them. You want to alternate between rolling through attacks and also jumping when he does a stomp. Rolling to the side when he flies at you. And rolling through the tail attack. Now, always expect the tail attack to go up to 3 times. I actually think the one in the Everjail does it 3 times. I haven't seen this one do it 3 times, but just expect it. Don't attack too soon after the tail sweep. But that's all they've got. They've got sword attacks, shield attacks. I actually think the shield attack has quite good tracking, so if you are trying to strafe around the back of him, I quite often get hit by the flippin' shield attack, like... Yeah, dodge everything if you can, jump over the stomp, sidestep the flight attack, and just, yeah, use the terrain to create breathing space if you need, and if you kill him, you get his aspect of the Crucible Horns incantation. Okay, this elevator here does link up to where we were before. So Codpiece Knight is just below us, and then this room here has the Grace just in one of the side rooms. So that's how you get this elevator. It's not a huge big deal, like I said, lots of like little hidden extra pathways that don't have, like, things you'll probably never use in them, but are definitely worth picking up. I say the Crucible Knight practice is... probably not super necessary at this point, because the one in the Everjail is a lot easier to practice against, but if you're a completionist like me, that's how you get to him. How we're going to actually progress is up these stairs here. Now we've got a couple guys patrolling, but they, like I said, we just took down that Crucible Knight, so these guys are nothing compared to him. We are golden. And then one shooting arrows at us from over there. If you can manage to jump around, you can jump on top of the wheels here, the like elevator sort of wheels. I don't really know the term for the contraption that controls an elevator, but you can jump on top of it. And there's some throwing daggers to pick up there. So if you have no plans of any kind of like range attacks, you don't really want to use a bow or any magic or that, picking up things like throwing knives can be really useful. Because if you have some way of alerting an enemy and sort of splitting it up from its group, etc., or perhaps like hitting something like the big fire-breathing statues in the catacombs, for example, you know, throwing knives, pick them up. Doesn't cost you anything to have them just in your bags, so that's them there. I've gone on a little tour of the worlds, apparently, running around. But there is only one way out of here. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Just going for a little joyride, apparently. There we go. So out here, there are some guys, and they'll be alerted by this guy here. So he's blowing his little horn, alerts the other guys that come very kindly one by one. But if you are able to kill this guy before he blows his horn, you can take out these guys at your leisure. Getting some golden rune drops, are we? Excuse me, what's all this damage? What's all this damage? Right, after you take them down, we're free to sort of have a look around. There's some sandbags here. If you jump on top of them, you'll notice you can jump across to this wooden roof here. Very carefully make your way around the building. There's a whole rooftop section here, which is quite perilous, but there's some good things to be found from it, as you can see. To start with, I'm actually going to go down here. But there's a couple of ways you can tackle this rooftop section, but if you come this way, you can pick up this smithing stone too. Oh, there's two of them, actually. 2 times 2. What is this? Elden Ring? Dark Souls 2 too. And then follow the roof round here, round the corner. You can just like jump straight down to this bit, but... so there's runes there. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I did come through here once before, and my camera right here on this wall, very careful, my camera just like wigged out, spun around, threw me off. We're going up this ladder here. This is really important. Please, if you do nothing else in Stormveil Castle, please get this talisman. Up here is the jumping talisman, or whatever it's called, raptor talisman. What's it actually called? It's the jumping attack talisman. 10% more jump attack damage, which will stack with our raptor feathers. Chest piece, claw talisman, that's it. Claw talisman. So we're going to pop that on right away. Enhances jump attacks. Because jump attacks are big damage, big stagger, good gap closers, relatively safe when you're, you know, because of the stagger. Jump attacks are just fantastic, especially with the Bloodhound Fang. So that's a big upgrade for us. Our sort of setup is pretty much complete for now. There's loads more optimization we can do, but like that's the big one sort of done. These guys tried to follow us, and they're very kindly popping down the ladder one by one to get us. Okay, yeah, so after you get this, you can head on back to the rooftops. And there's a couple more things to get. We just drop down. Let's go a slightly safer way, actually. Let's go down to this section here. And then across here. We've got shiny to pick up here, but beware, we've got a slightly tougher birds with knives, sort of falcon type lad that does breathe fire at you. This guy's kind of zippy. It's hard to get him to stand in the way of my sword. As long as you're careful not to fight him too close to the edge of the roof, eventually he will walk into your knife. This is simply a gesture here, dozing cross-legged. So it's not a huge big deal, but gestures are fun. And also this one I'm pretty sure was helped me get a cheese in the DLC. So dozing cross-legged. It reminds me of Siegmeyer or Siegward. Okay, that's us actually kind of done on the rooftops for now. I want to sort of come the other way. Literally just want to like home in on the claw talisman. So now that we've got that, we're going to instead teleport back to the ramparts. And we're going to come the opposite direction now. The main way through the back way of Stormveil Castle. The front way, super quick. The back way, super long. Even longer if you keep jumping off, like, walls and doing extra stuff, I suppose. But the extra stuff is... I can't explain it. The extra stuff is what makes it, I think. All the little hidden tricks. So that's where we jumped off there. And if you head to the very end of this section here, loads of exploding barrels. Do not hang around. This bird will usually blow itself up. But something's sort of gone wrong. It's sort of stuck in the barrels. So I guess we could wait for him to explode the barrels. Not explode, sorry. Destroy the barrels. We could have threw a fireball. If we had thrown a fireball, they would have all exploded and the bird would have died in a raging fireball. That would have been amazing. Oh well, missed opportunity. But here we go. We got our smithing stone from that corner of the room, just there. Heading down to, we could see this cathedral from where we were on the rooftops before. But that's this bit here. And then out there we've sort of been around here before. There's a ladder here. If you go down there, it's like, well, you can go straight down there, or you can like just drop down here. It doesn't make a difference really. But if you drop down here, we're looking for a guy who is not in this room. He's in the other room. Yeah, the room with all the pews in it. This is Roger. So we kind of met Roger. We saw his summon sign outside of Margate. So he's exploring Stormveil Castle just like us. Introduce yourself to him. He's got a short little quest line that is tied to a couple of other NPCs. So it's worth chatting to him. He has some magic ashes of war, which will work for you with like no intelligence investment. So could be worth thinking about. In particular, his parry. The magic parry is really, really cool. Feels amazing to use and situationally very, very strong. So we've met Roger. You can tell him the truth or be like sneaky with him. Doesn't really matter, but he's a good guy, so just tell him the truth. In this section here, we have another codpiece knight with a great shield and his little friend that is patrolling with him. So up to you if you want to use your crouch, use your sneak, and use that to get a nice big hit on the big knight. I sort of use it just to quickly take out the little knight. Either way, it's all good. I do manage to stagger him for a couple of hits. Oh, bloody hell. My health. On reflection, I maybe should have jump attacked the big knight, because the little one might have gotten caught up in the same attack. How the flip? He came out the other door. He went round. But a swift jump attack finishes him off. And we're free to take this path now. The ladder on the right hand side there, that's how you would get sort of down here without jumping down the hole. Where Roger is. Not really sure of the point of the ladder. I guess it's just an extra. Notice down there, there's a fog wall down there. We're going to be there at some point. We'll get there at some point. I just think it's quite cool that you can see it from here. This room coming up is going to be very important. We're going to be like in this room a few times. So you'll get used to it. You'll start to recognize it. This room here. So we're above it the now. Just going to take this guy out. Lots of limbs hanging from the ceiling. The whole sort of horror story about Stormveil Castle is that the leader, Godrick the Grafted, grafts people's limbs to his own body to make himself more powerful. There's a nice little pile of the scraps down there. And another codpiece knight. Okay, I should stop trying to get 3-hit combos because these guys, you can stagger them once, but you can't stagger them twice, and I keep doing it. I think the way I sometimes think is that the best defense is a good offense, but with these guys, that's not always the case. There we go. Either way, they don't have tons of health, so it's not a huge big deal. I've jumped over the back of here for some reason. Just checking out this wee bit. You can actually drop down here from the rooftops as well. It all links up. That gold pickled fowl foot was definitely worth picking up though, because if you pop it right before a boss dies, it gives you, I believe, 30% more runes, which can be huge. This chest at the back here, a very, very situational item, Mimic's Veil. So Chameleon or White Branch from Dark Souls 3, or it transforms you into a random thing in the environment, like a box or a candlestick or a statue, something like that. It's mainly a way of playing a trick on invaders. However, I have seen this used in PvE to hilarious effect. In particular, it's what helped me beat Promised Consort Radahn at rune level 1. It has since been patched though, which is a kind of a shame, but never mind. But yeah, Mimic Veil, pretty cool, but very situational. Right, we're going to drop down here now. I want to get these dogs out of the way before we drop down. So I'm just chucking a fireball at them. They like just survive. I'm sure, did the other one like just survive? I feel like one fireball is like just not enough. Oh no, it did die. Okay, cool. So you do more damage if something hasn't yet noticed you. So because the other one had noticed me, it took like 3 fireballs to beat it. In the middle here is the Crimson Hood. Now this, other than being highly fashionable, of course, is pretty cool because it is one of those items that gives you some stats for wearing it. This one gives you 1 vigor. So my vigor's gone up to 23 just by wearing this. I'm switching back to the skeletal mask because it matches my chest piece more. It's got more damage negation, I suppose, but mostly for fashion. There's no real, like, you can wear what gives you an advantage, or you can wear what looks good. It's not going to make or break the game. I feel like play how you want to play. Use what you want to use, really. Right, this room here we go. So in here, with all the limbs hanging from the ceiling, Grafted Scion. I'm just sneaking away from him and getting this shortcut first of all. So if you ride the elevator up, always like sort of just check out and make sure you know how a shortcut connects. Like, so there's the grace there, and then there's the elevator here. Before you like, you know, because then when you die, you might respawn back at a different like grace. So you want to make sure you know like where the shortcut goes. So yeah, Grafted Scion in here. So if you need to rest and refill your flask of physique, you can do that. But I'm gonna buff the heck up and take this guy out. Much weaker than the one that we met right at the start of the game. However, still potentially an issue. So I'm just going to look to burn him down as quick as possible. Got all my buffs. You can't summon spirit ashes in this room. It's just you and him, baby. Jump attacks to close distance. We do get hit a little bit along the way, but we're doing so much damage to him, it's fine. We can take a couple of hits. Nice. I love the reach on the Bloodhound Fang is so good. It's really carrying us. Like, for something we got, like, right at the start of the game, it so carries. It is +6, though, as well. It's super leveled. There's a nice wee picture of Godfrey. Isn't it nice? Some nice concept art. And then underneath him, you find the Highland Axe, which is kind of cool. He uses an axe. This part here with the dudes and the pots and the stuffs, is a direction you can go. Wow, what an incredible walkthrough. This is a direction you can go. However, it does all just loop back on itself, as you can see from the dead guy. So we poked our head in here, and instead we jumped down at the big pile of bodies with the 2 dogs. So if you came down that direction, you would just fight the Grafted Scion from this direction and then get the dogs and the Crimson Hood sort of backwards from the way that I did it. Up here we've got like another sort of raftery section with this guy and another shiny right at the very far end of the room. Just far enough away to be kind of a pain to grab. Some free arrows. I'm not passing up on any free stuff, even if it is just arrows. I'll take them all. Okay, next section is this bit here. Lots and lots of guards. But the good news is the next grace is literally just at the other side of this courtyard. So if you do want to head straight to the grace, then just stick to the left-hand side here. Stuff will be alerted to you, but it takes a minute for them all to wake up. So you can just like run straight through if you like. I'm going to use this little structure here to filter them in, sort of bottleneck them. But they are going to be firing arrows at you, so you don't really want to stand in one place too long either way. This guy was a big guy that I just killed in one hit. Let's go. Let's go. And we can grab those fire arrows. Again, free arrows. Free fire arrows. You could use them to explode some exploding barrels. Perhaps. I'm going to kill each of these guys. Just very relaxed. One by one. Using the stakes to hide behind. There's a few of them stationed behind like flamethrowers. I really wish we could like use these flamethrowers. Whoa, I got flipping hit out the air. Gutted. That is the thing with jump attacks, is like if you time it wrong, you'll just get shotgunned in the face and potentially take critical damage, because if you're hit in the middle of an attack animation, you take more damage. So it's, yeah, that is the drawback. Yeah, careful of all these. I wish we could use them. It would be so fun. Like, I mean, Dark Souls 2 lets you use them. Just saying. Well, the trebuchet. Anyway. Pike. More smoldering butterflies, which you can use to make fire arrows. They respawn. They're quite easy to get. The butterflies. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, wait, do they? Because rot butterflies do not respawn. I think smoldering ones do. Or maybe you just get so many of them that you'll never need them all. This bit here, right, so this path connects on to, if you had taken the main gate at the very entrance to Stormveil Castle, this path is where you would emerge from if you had kept going from the main gate. However, this little section here is the reason why the main gate is so difficult, because you have more guys on ballistas, but these ballistas like explode, as you can see from me demonstrating. So we will come round this way eventually, but like just sort of showing you that's how it would connect up. You don't lose anything by going the back way. And also you don't really lose anything from going the front way. It's just all about knowing what you care about picking up. And you can do it whether you go in the front or the back. There's another structure over on the right hand side here that we can just head up and explore. Stormhawk Feather, I guess you would use them for the storm arrows. They deal a little bit like wind AoE when you shoot them. Wooden Great Shields to pick up there. Right, there's a big omen just ahead, and he's got a big dog just there, between the path between you and the Grace. So if you're running past him, it's not such a big deal. Oh, there's a little side room there with a painting in it. Can we right, we'll get that in a bit. Let's take care of the omen first. What I quite like to do is, we've already alerted him, so it's no big deal. Sort of just led him away from the stairs and then ran round behind him. If you can get into this room here and touch the Grace, fantastic. Even if you die, you'll respawn back here and you can get your revenge after. He will follow you into this room, or he should follow you. He doesn't seem bothered. He's just gone back to his wee hoose, I think. Oh no, he's just chilling. He's super chill. I think he noticed us, but like sort of half noticed us. Like he didn't fully aggro, maybe. Either way, we're not gonna like look a gift horse in the mouth. I thought we could maybe get a jump attack on him here, but he got stuck in the defenses. Oh, did it! Nice. Huge damage. Huge. And then his dog, which is actually like more annoying than him. You want to like time your swing so the dog like jumps into your sword. This statue here, you need a very specific method to break these. There's a few of these throughout the game. You need something very big to break that for you. So we'll head in here and grab this painting. We've got a few of these. We've done one already. And when we did that, I explained that they're kind of like puzzles. You want to travel to this place that the painter would have been standing when they painted this picture. So that's just picked up prophecy. So that's in Liurnia. We've got one that's in Weeping Peninsula that we haven't done yet. We'll do the two of them, or we'll do it after Stormveil Castle at some point. Okay, so we're looking for this little door here, which is slightly more hidden than the other one. And there's a few rats just in this room to take down. And I've learned never to underestimate rats because they flippin' killed me earlier in the walkthrough. I don't mind admitting it. Game's hard. And you've got a fireproof dried liver there. This is a stone sword key door, but one that I really recommend using if you're following my build. Anyway, in here we have a couple very useful things. First up, Godslayer's Seal. Seals used to cast incantations. And the Godskin Prayer Book. Prayer books are what allow you to learn new incantations and spells. And then outside here we have Golden Rune. So the Godskin Prayer Book in particular teaches you some Black Flame pyromancies. So Black Flame, really cool in this game. It deals it deals some damage, yes, but it also applies a debuff, which will burn the enemy for a percentage of their health, which is more effective the more health the enemy or boss has. And then the Godslayer's Seal here boosts Godslayer incantations like Black Flame, the initial hit of Black Flame. This is something that I am going to be making use of with this build because it's just so good if you're leveling faith. You don't even need that much faith to use it. It's like 27 or something. I've chosen here to drop down and now take care of this courtyard bit. So this is the front gate to the castle, and these guys were the ones shooting the ballista at us. So if you're able to drop down here and take them out from behind, if there's no more ballista shooters, you're free to explore this area at your leisure. If you haven't already killed the lion and gotten that grace, now is the time to do so without any pressure. But other than that, there's not a lot of reason to come down here, but I'm just sort of showing you how it all connects up. There's the front gate there. And if you didn't open the front gate, there is a way to open it just here. We've got one more ballista guy here that I can't actually reach because of the sandbag. So I'm actually just going to like break the ballista by throwing a bunch of fireballs at it. 3, 4... Oh my god, 5. Oh my god. These things get, for being made of wood, there we go. For being made of wood, they can really take a lot of firepower, can't they? So yeah, that was the final ballista operator, if I'm not mistaken. So now we don't need to worry about this room. It's all cleared. This house is clean. Okay. These guys, we saw them before, but we just sort of left them alone. Taking bolts to the face like it's going out of fashion. There's a few of them, but they don't ever really tend to swarm you. They sort of hang back a bit. AI does improve later in the game, enemy AI, and they get a bit smarter, get a bit more aggressive, but these guys are quite chill. It's a really good introduction to this game for sure. God, there's so many! The lion laddie doesn't respawn. He was here. He doesn't respawn. But you can just run past him anyway. We just need the grace on the other side. Right, a few more castle guards. Big one in the middle. That only took one ash attack to go down. Bloodhound's finesse is so good. It's so good. I don't use it enough, I admit. Ah, okay, here, right, this staircase here. Here is the bit with the flaming ballistas. So, there is a thing to do there that we will do. But first of all, how the flip was there still more guys back here? But yeah, first of all, there's a grace just here in the side room just beside the gate. And if your gate is closed, here's how you'll open it. If you do want to open, why not? I mean, just like pull that lever there and it'll open the gate. And then there's another grace. You never know when you might need this grace in particular. So there it is. Outside here, we've got Commoner's Simple Garb. So if you did want to cosplay as Gostock, I suppose you can do that if you like. I'm not resting, because if we rest, all the ballista operators are going to respawn, and we don't want that. However, we're a little bit low on heals, but that's okay. We've got quite a lot of runes though, so yeah, you want to be careful in situations like this. I'm about to do something pretty risky, which on reflection, you wouldn't do. You wouldn't do that in this situation. One heal left, low health, 14,000 runes, that's enough for a level. Yeah, I don't know if you'd risk that, if you just bank the runes. Let's, instead of going through that explosive ballista area, let's just teleport back here. We will come back later. I just do not fancy losing runes. Dying, I don't care, but like, I feel like I should practice what I preach, you know? Here's the rim just past the little omen. The wee little omen guy. And I did mention this breakable statue. This little sort of Hail Mary statue. These can only be broken by really big guys, so this omen just won't cut it. He's not big enough. However, oh my flippin' god, man! See ya. There's a much bigger guy around the corner that we're gonna go and we're gonna employ him to get the statue for us. So don't worry too much about trying to get the omen to break it, because it won't work. He's not big enough. Only giants and rune bears can break them. And actually, I think also abductor virgins, which we haven't met yet, but we will. We will. Okay, heading onwards. More birds with knives. More exploding barrels. This one, because they breathe fire, I'm just taking him way out the way. Way out the way. They have like a big like sort of sack under their chin that I think must have like the, I don't know, gunpowder in it or something. I don't know. They're spooky looking. I don't love them. Oh, actually, there's not exploding barrels here. I thought they were. Okay, they're just regular barrels. Okay, that's not too bad. I had in my head this section was much scarier. It's not too bad. Just pull one bird at a time. Get your bow out, use your bow, use throwing knives, etc. Flame sling, the range on that is not as good, but do whatever you have to do to pull things one at a time and slowly take them out. Ugh. Sorry, by the way, I've got a wee bit of a sore throat today. I don't know why I'm doing a 1 hour voiceover, but here we are. I like to do these all in one section in case I like forget what I've already said and I end up repeating myself, but I end up repeating myself anyway, so I don't know why I bother. Couple things to make sure you do not miss in this area. First of all, a very dark little room on the right that I definitely missed on my first playthrough has this lassie. This is Nefeli Lure. She's just taken down a codpiece now, all by herself, so that should let us know that she's a pretty big deal. She is closely tied to Godrick, Stormveil Castle, Limgrave in general. Not so much an impact on like the endings of the game, but her questline, if you do follow it, has a pretty cool ending that gives you a pretty good reward. So it's worth doing Nefeli's quest. So chat to her, she'll tell you a little bit more about how sick and twisted Godrick is. And then eventually she'll say, if you are going to go and fight Godrick, please let me help you. So she'll now appear as a summon just outside his boss room. So once she starts repeating herself, we can move on. And the next thing you want to make sure you don't miss is this golden seed next to the golden tree and the golden leaves just outside here in the dark, where you could, I suppose you could easily miss it if you were sleeping. But hey, no judgment. Like I said, I missed Nefeli on my first playthrough. And I was quite sad because if you don't get her at this section, I'm pretty sure you miss out on a talisman reward. So just to be safe, just make sure you chat to her here. Here's our giant pal. So we're going to kill his friends, and then he is understandably quite upset by this and he will chase us. Don't go too far away from him or he might de-aggro. We're just going to stay far enough away that he's not going to attack us, but not too far away that he loses interest in us, and just slowly lead him down here to this, I wanted to say Mary statue. It's not Mary. I don't even think it's Marika. Just this sort of finger maiden statue. Just here. There we go. So any old attack from him, perfect. That was beautiful. Any old attack will break it, and once it's broken, you might want to grab what's inside it, just in case you do die to the giant, which, again, totally valid. However, I'm Billy Big Bollocks, and I'm just going for it here. What you might find really useful against big guys like this with the Bloodhound Fang is the charge attack. If you do 2 charge attacks in a row, it's almost guaranteed to stagger big enemies like this. However, you know, you got to try and stay in between their legs and not get hit, so it's not always easy to pull off 2 charge attacks in a row, because it takes a long time to do that. Right, so your reward is 5 smithing stones and 1 smithing stone 2. So if you are struggling to level up weapons, or like you've got a new weapon, like for example the hook claws that we found at the start of this area, and you want to level them up, perhaps as like a side weapon, as a good big like bolster to your smithing stone collection for not much effort at all. This little hidden shiny here that I totally would have missed had it not been super shiny is another smithing stone 2. So should be able to get some levels in your weapon. If you're not using somber weapon, the regular smithing stone weapons are a little bit harder to level up. They just take a lot more resources, but the resources are easier to find. So I still think somber is easier though, if you know where to look. Here's our grace right outside the golden fog wall. Golden fog wall always means it's a boss fight. However, a grey fog wall, you don't have to worry, but golden means it's a boss fight. So before we go through there, we have more side areas to do. Starting with this scarab here, which does drop another Stormcaller Ash of War. So we've got the 2 Storm Ashes of War now. This one is the other one that we saw the other Codpiece Knight using, so you can cosplay them if you like. These little jars will attack you. The big one is an issue, so try not to let them start spinning. We're just going to get 2 jump attacks as quick as possible, because when they start spinning, it can be a bit crazy. And then pick up these purple sort of rare items here. You get 2 cracked pots. So this is what we can use to craft throwing pots. You need a pot to put a pot in. Wait a minute. You need a pot receptacle to craft a crafted throwable pot. Yeah, English. English. There's another elevator back here. which I think is like maybe the most useless hacking shortcut ever. I don't know of a situation you would ever need this elevator. Well, I guess, maybe, I don't know, because you've already got the grace for Godrick, so why would you, I don't know. There's lots of lovely little shortcuts, and you might want to use this one, maybe, or you might want to use the Godrick grace. It doesn't matter. Whatever you like. Maybe you just really like elevator music. I don't know. Don't miss this. If you stick to the left, here, go for the shiny. That's your clue to maybe like look around here. We can jump across to this narrow piece of wall and head on around here. Got a little tricky little jump here. Perfect. And then head on through this way. There's like a little storeroom on the right here, which we're just going to head up. And now we're back sort of outside on the roof. Another smithing. Oh, 3 smithing stone twos. So many. And just sort of carefully make your way up and around. Up here, a couple things to pick up. Smithing stone 1, golden rune 2, lots of little pickups, but lots of them, so it does all really add up fast. This room here, we're just going to take out this guy before he can give us any issue. Just be the first to strike. Take a page out of Han Solo's book. The rest of them, understandably, once again, wee bit pissed off, and they'll slowly come for us. They're throwing stuff at you as well. I think it's just rocks, though. I don't think it would do, like, crazy damage, but still, rude. Rude. These ones are a bit slow on the uptake, thankfully. And a shiny in the bottom. Manor Tower Shield. Guard counter builds. Block builds. Rejoice. Dev message here, and you can tell because it's so flippin' shiny. It's Roger! Surely what you seek is somewhere nearby. So a clue that this one smithing stone 3 is not all that you can get here for if you drop down on the right, or left, I guess, depending how you're looking at it. We can head down slowly to this other section here. Hey! I love it! I love Stormveil Castle. I love it! It's so good! I hate having to like jump up here to grab this, but it is a golden rune 5. Cool. And then we have a 5 rainbow stones. Are they? I feel like they're useful in like catacombs, maybe, to like mark places you've already been. I don't know. Also, I guess you can use them to determine whether fall damage is going to be fatal or not. If you first head to the left before we do anything else and open this door here, that's your shortcut to the Grace. That's this door. You probably wondered about this door for so long. That's this door. There is no reason not to rest at this bonfire. Why the freak am I not resting at the bonfire, banking my runes, leveling up? My God. Do as I say, not as I do. Guys, rest at the bonfire just there, because what's coming up, you're going to need all your flasks for. What a silly Billy. Oh no, I tried to, no! So these bats, I thought, right, let's flame sling them. But butter fingers, I pressed the right shoulder button instead of the left shoulder button and fell off. But no harm done. All good. But yeah, we're heading down here. There is an ulcerated tree spirit here. A boss, actually, which has a reward that's definitely worth picking up. But he's kind of scary. I'd say maybe the second scariest enemy in this whole dungeon. More scary than the boss, definitely. Not even joking. But not as scary as the Crucible Knight. Because we have fire. So if we didn't have fire, he'd be even scarier. There's a few rats here that are, again, a bit slow on the uptake. But just making sure that they can't come and bite me in the bum later on. Oh, and a big one. Heck. You try a jump attack on me, I will try a jump attack on you. That's how we do this. Did I not pick up the item there? It's wild watching this footage back sometimes, guys, and I'm just like, what are you doing? You flipping idiot. I guess it just proves that, like, it's so easy for me to, like, sit here and talk about it, but actually doing it is such another thing entirely, isn't it? You can learn so much from watching these games, but still make a mistake. Or in my case, you can learn so much from like 500 hours in this game and still make silly mistakes. Pick up the item! Hey! Okay, we got it. Golden Rune 3. Right. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you correct them later on. We picked up from that scarab there, Rancor Call, which is spooky skulls, magic, homing in on enemies. Pretty cool. Very good in Night Rain. Huge fan of the Rancor in Night Rain. Right, and when we drop down here, we're gonna go. We're gonna summon the ulcerated tree spirit. He's a big old worm. We haven't fought anything like this before. They are super weak to fire. The problem is with this one in particular, when you fight them in the open world, it's not so bad. But with this one, it's quite a small room. I know it doesn't look it, but this thing is pretty massive. Your main enemy here is going to be your camera. So you probably want to fight this guy without lock on. And a lot of the time, use your instincts with rolling. He's quite slow, does these big sort of sweeping attacks. I'm going to use fire grease on my weapon. And also we have the drawstring fire grease if we need to like reapply it in the middle of combat. So I've just gone ahead and bound that to my belt. We've got the jump attack talisman. So yeah, we're going to aim to like just try and burn him down, pun intended, as quick as possible. You do have some time when you get down here. You'll notice the ground start to shake. That's when we want to apply all our buffs. And here is the ulcerated tree spirit. So yeah, big sweep, roll through that, get a wee hit in. So yeah, that chunky health bar. Not locking on, when he sort of slides away from you, he's either going to do a sweep, which takes up the whole arena, or he's going to do this, charge up his AoE. I am far too close for that, so we do get hit by that, but we've got a couple of heals that I'm just going to make sure that we use. Just get in the habit, stay away from him, let him attack, and then once he's done attacking, close ground with the jump attack, and then back off again. He can also breathe this sort of black fire sort of stuff that he's covered in. But yeah, this is an AoE. Just run all the way away. Nice. That was my last heal. What a silly Billy. Yeah, this charge attack here is so hard to see the point at which you're meant to roll through it. When this room, he keeps clipping through the walls. It's just a mess, this mini boss fight. I don't really like it. I don't mind fighting these guys in all the other places in this game, but this one I don't love. I'm low on health. I'm panic rolling. Ash of War gets the job done. The fire grease really carrying there. But you can also use your fireball as well. But this guy, when you defeat him, he does drop a golden seed. So that is going to give us another charge on our flask. We've got quite a lot now though, so we need like 3 seeds or something per flask, but really good for this stage in the game to have so many heals. Just allows us to stay alive longer, really. Quite obvious, really, isn't it? And there's a stone sword key in here, and a talisman. Prince of Death's Pustule. All right, Godwin, how you doing? What then follows is the longest ladder in the first area anyway. There's definitely a longer one. Maybe the Halig Tree ladder, is that longer? Someone should count the rungs so we can figure it out. Anyway, it's a really long ladder. But yeah, Prince of Death's Pustule raises your death with a capital D resistance. So that is, if you've played Dark Souls, Curse. And if you've played Dark Souls 2, petrification. It is the cloud of ash that when you breathe it in, your bar fills up. If the bar gets full, it's insta-kill, death, no matter what. No, you could go from 100% health to 0 with death with a capital D. So this gives you increased resistance to the build-up of death. Doesn't help you survive death, unfortunately. And then when we climb up this ladder and drop down, you'll notice we're right next to another stone sword key door. And then this room here with the grafted scion. So we could have come here earlier, but we find ourselves here now, so it's all good. And we just picked up a stone sword key from the tree spirit room, so it works out really well. This room does have these two guys in it though, so not ideal, but we've got the Hawk Crest wooden shield, and then over here, iron wet blade that'll allow you to infuse weapons, and misericord, which I love this little dagger. It has a very, very high critical adjust, which means if you use it for doing crits like backstabs or riposts after the parry, it's very, very high damage. I really like it. It's a great little weapon, great little sub-weapon to have equipped in your other hand. Highly recommend leveling this one up. Okay, so that is that done for now. I'm just running down because I realise I missed something in the fiery ballistas sort of corridor, because it wasn't quite a good idea for me to go and do that at the time. So I'm just heading there now just to quickly clean that up before we head for Godrick. So I'm sticking to the left-hand side. Try to listen for the arrows being shot at you and try to roll out of the way, but I'm also zigzagging back and forth and then heading for this ledge here. It might be better to approach this from the other side, but I was being lazy and I didn't want to teleport. But this bit's a wee bit fiddly and I'm low health. There we go. And they're shooting at me. At least I healed. So you can jump across here and you can kill the guys that are operating the ballistas. But by the time you're up here, you've pretty much done it. You're good. So it was messy, but... Oh, okay. Yeah, it was messy, but we got it done. Okay. 2 more. Or 1 more? 1 more. This guy's got fire bombs. And then the other guy's got a ballista over there. Yeah, there he is. Get him! So this body here is Arbalest. A pretty powerful crossbow. Should you be crossbow inclined? This area is not really that fun. You can definitely skip it if you're not too bothered about the crossbow. Right, we have one last thing to do before we head for Godrick, and it is another very sort of short little area that I did miss earlier on. I can't remember why. I probably had a reason. But it's back down here, down this sort of half-hidden sort of cellar door with all the rats inside it. Provided you used a stone sword key to open up the door at the end of the passageway here. I think I just picked up the items and thought, cool, good, I'm done. But there is another little extra area just here if you follow the wall around to the right and climb up this ladder. Up here there are another couple of the codpiece knights that do have ashes of war, this like Stormveil sort of wind, like rush at you / shield slam type ashes of war. But it's nothing we haven't already dealt with before. You might want to employ some ranged attacks to sort of pick these guys off one by one. Is that some runes on the ground? Take that as validation, I suppose. Yeah, so if you do want to like try and like pull the little guy first, I don't know. I always prefer to like just jump in with a jump attack or a charge attack, but as you can see here, that did actually get me killed. So whichever way works best for you. I was just admiring myself in this Banished Knight helm. It reminds me of an armor set from Dark Souls 3, so I was just sort of trying it on, checking it out. One of my favorite things is like taking different pieces from different armor sets and like piecing them together and seeing what looks good. Not necessarily like a full set, but like bits and pieces of different sets. I don't know. Ideas be churning. So we can head across this bridge here to get to another ladder and another couple of guys waiting to ambush us. When the ambusher becomes the ambushed. So we'll head up this ladder here, which is like on a suspiciously dark wall. It's like they wanted you to kind of miss this. And then up here we have another couple of guys who were up to no good. That you could pull one by one from afar, or you could just jump on in there and get hit out of the air and then hit again. God, I was so good at this game. And then we have some treasure up here. Whoop whoop. A Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 10. So this one will teach us how to craft Stormwing Bone Arrow, which will have like a sort of shockwave effect. Very cool, actually, arrows. If you wanted to like blow someone off the edge, like off a cliff, situationally, very good. Break up a big group of enemies. For example, if we like fired one here, it would blast these guys apart. Pretty good. Arrows. Didn't really end up using them on my bow only playthrough because I just had like so many other arrows. Bow only, by the way, great challenge run. If you ever wanted to try challenge runs, it was a good time. But yeah, that was that. With the cookbook being the main thing to pick up here. If this was a Dark Souls game, there would be a nice little message here saying, "Fatty, don't give up, fatty." And then you'll notice this bit down here that you can drop down to is the little statue that connects onto the Grafted Scion room. I love how it all connects up. Okay, that's it. That's us. We got everything now. Time to head to Godrick. So we already have the grace for him, so we're heading back there. Got a decent amount of runes, so we do want to bank those first. The biggest thing that's going to be a help to you in this fight, our damage is mint. Our damage is very good. It's too good, actually, for this stage in the game. But what we do need is health. Now, health can forgive you for so many mistakes. If you have enough health to be able to take 3 hits rather than like 1 hit, it's just huge. Similarly, our flasks, I think we have a couple of AFP flasks that we don't really need. We're not really going to use them on this fight. I don't plan on using any spirit ashes for this fight. So we're just going to allocate flask charges, put them all into heals. Now with this, we can afford to be a little bit clumsy with this boss. There's a couple of moves that he does that are quite difficult to dodge. So this is how I like to take on Godrick. Clumsily. So here we are at the fog wall, but before you do go through it, we've just got a couple things to go over. I'm just going to quickly check my loadout. So I'm using the green turtle talisman for stamina recovery speed, which, do you know what? It's not that good in this game. I feel like it's better in Dark Souls. There's probably other options you could do. The fire defense and physical defense talismans could be a good shout here, especially fire for phase 2. But again, it's personal preference. And the jump attack talisman is non-negotiable. That's where the bulk of our damage is going to come through. So you can consider for this fight summoning Nefeli Lu. So provided you spoke to her in our little room, she is here. You can summon her online or offline, doesn't matter. She's an NPC summon. And she will help you with the boss. She is a fantastic tank. And also, I love bringing her along here because of lore reasons. She's like got a proper vendetta against Godrick, so bringing her along and letting her tank for us just feels so good. You do not need to summon her here to progress in her quest. I'm merely showing you how good she can be as a tank to allow you to pretty easily smash through this boss, but you don't need to bring her because she will bolster 50% of his HP and make the fight just last longer. But having a tank is a worthy trade-off. Okay, now time for the fight itself. So just take your time in getting to him. He quite often will open with a gap closer. He's quite slow and sometimes annoyingly so, as you will notice. This attack here, I just want to talk about first of all, this ground slam attack. In phase 1, this will always hit twice. Now, Godrick is the boss that really makes you go, oh my god, Elden Ring with the delayed attacks. It feels like everything has a pause before it actually happens. So just take a look at his movements here and see that just because he is raising his axe, it does not mean he's about to bring it down on you. And a lot of his regular sort of axe attacks are roll catchers, we would call them. If you start rolling when it looks like he is starting to attack, he's going to hit you when your roll is finished. When he gets to 60%-ish health, depends on how high your DPS is, I suppose, he will transition into phase 2. Now, you can do some damage while he's transitioning, but you'll do far less. He will always begin phase 2 with this attack here, this flame sweep, which is very easy to avoid by sprinting behind him, and you can get a decent hit in while he's finishing off his attack. He will now have fire-breathing attacks as well as axe attacks and whirlwind attacks, and is much more dangerous in phase 2, but I find much more predictable. There's much better openings, this one in particular, as long as you're not standing right in front of it, I suppose, where you can get behind him. Now, when you see the whirlwind come out, you can't see it very well because obviously he's targeting Nepheli here. In phase 1, it's just wind things that do a little bit of damage to you and knock you back. But in phase 2, they are imbued with fire. It's going to do much more damage to you unless you did bulk up on your fire defense. Now, Nepheli Lu's health is getting a wee bit low here, so I do decide to throw when she dies, so don't panic. I want to make sure this boss doesn't die too quickly because there are a couple of problem attacks that I didn't quite get the chance to show off just yet. So we're just going to reset the fight for just now. Okay, once again, bringing Nepheli Lu. I probably could have not brought her along this time because personally, like from a walkthrough creation point of view, he never seems to do the attacks I want him to do when I have a summon. But I digress. So, from the top, phase 1. Perfect. Okay, this is quite a common attack in phase 1. He will drag the axe along the ground at you, and then after what seems like an eternity, will strike you. It's much easier to dodge this if you dodge to the right. I went to the left because I'm a ninny. Don't do that. And we saw there his whirlwind sort of projectile attack is just that, just wind in phase 1. Ground slam is crash, beat, crash. So you're going to want to either outrange that or roll or jump in time. Obviously, if you are jumping, make sure you're not jumping into the axe. But if you're rolling, you've got iframes so you can roll through the axe. From here, I am far too close to him to avoid these projectiles. And you just, as soon as you see him conjuring up that whirlwind, you just want to back off. So we got good damage on him there, and he's transitioning at about 50%. I take opportunity here, rather than hitting him, like tickling him, not doing very much damage, I choose to heal up, rebuff, get some blood grease on my weapon so we can try and get some bleed procs in phase 2. Opening phase 2 with a jump attack and then rolling through his charge is giving me a really good window for attacking. Right, this flame attack here. So we have the left to right sweep. This one, he will walk forwards and sort of paint the ground in front of him. If you're in a position to run behind him for this, you can more easily avoid it. I like to just sort of run backwards. Here we go, ground slam in phase 2. You will see hits 3 times now. So it's twice in phase 1 and thrice in phase 2, and the area of effect is so big that you are likely to be caught in this. So you're going to have to try and learn the timing for that, or at least make sure that you're not like at super low health if you're caught inside it. So as you can see here, size of the... Oh, Nefeli killed him. Damn it, I wanted to show off the flipping ground pound. Damn it, Nefeli. But yes, hopefully you were able to glean from that footage that this ground pound, this is a problem for us, no matter what our like damage is, no matter if we've got her tanking or not. Never fight him too close to the tombstones because you can get stuck in them. I mean, he can get stuck in them, but it's not worth it. And certainly avoid the cliff. With Godrick down, you'll be glad to hear that is the first remembrance, first Lord Soul, if this was Dark Souls, first big boss is down, and you're rewarded with a great rune. Godrick was a shard bearer. Now, certain big bosses in this game, when you get their, when you kill them, you get their great rune. You can equip this by visiting their corresponding tower, and you can equip it, and you get extra benefits from that. So that's pretty heckin' awesome. Godrick's great rune is one that I use on pretty much every playthrough, almost every playthrough. You can see here, once you rest at the Grace, that Gostock is now here and he is stomping on the corpse of our fallen monarch. I don't know, I hate both of you, so whatever. We want the buckler from him. So he will be available as a merchant only once Godrick is dead. As long as you didn't kill him, obviously, because he can't sell stuff to you if you killed him. So that was all we needed him alive for, but I do implore you to just sort of leave him, because as much as you might sort of hate him and want to kill him, he does show up later on. So we've bought the buckler. Now this is me just wanting to be a little flashy, I admit, but also I do truly believe, in my opinion, that parrying is not only the most fun way to take down the Crucible Knights, but also I think it's easier than fighting them normally. So that is the reason we've picked up the buckler. So that's, you know, you get it from Gostock. That's why we kept him alive. Otherwise I would murder that flippin' thieving bawbag. When you come down here after Godrick, we're just going to point out a couple of things before we close out for the day. This has been quite a long one. I hope you've enjoyed. This wee ghosty here is sitting beside a Shabriri grape. Now, this isn't the first Shabriri grape that we have found. We are collecting these because they are imperative for a certain very badass ending for this game. And they are linked to this NPC here. Now this NPC here, and indeed our previous Shabriri grape, they are linked to the episode that I've done on Castle Morn. So if you don't have a grape, if you don't have a lassie here, then go check out my episode on Castle Morn to start this questline. This is Hayeta. But wait, that's not Hayeta. That's our deceased friend, Edgar's daughter, Irina. But in fact, no, she says she's Hayeta. We get the option here to give her a Shabriri grape, so do so, and she will eat it. Never yuck someone's yum, I guess. She'll then reward you with as you wish, a wee gesture, and if you chat to her until she starts repeating herself, and then rest at the Grace, she will move on, she'll progress in her quest. So we're going to find her again in a little bit. Now, there's another NPC that is supposed to be here at this Grace, but I've messed it up a little bit. And Bok should be here, but I think because I've been to Altus Plateau, I've sort of skipped this part of his quest. Sorry about that, just missing out on a little bit of lore, but we will catch up with Bok again later on in the walkthrough. One last thing to do now is to take Godrick's Great Rune and to teleport back to the Limgrave Tower Bridge. This was the Grace that we earned way back at the start of this episode, a million years ago it feels like. Bolt Drake's Talisman for some lightning defense there, and we can continue across the bridge. Now a few of these, I believe there are 2 of them, giant sentient golems will animate. There's one. Now we've fought these before, and the Bloodhound Fang is super good against them, and you're going to really see that here. What I found the best way to take care of these guys is 2 charged attacks, one after the other. So I missed with the second hit of the second charge attack. That second hit is the most important hit in the combo. So I'm going to try it again. There we go. We got a third charge attack. If you hit with the second hit, it would have only taken 2, but this took me 3. When you critical attack them by attacking the glowing weak spot in their chest, they just go down like crumpled paper. Maybe this one will be a little bit cleaner. And 1 and 2. There we go. So I got the second hit. The first hit doesn't matter. The second hit is the one that does all the stagger. So, and then we got the spot in the chest. That is so satisfying. Oh, there is 3. Hey, I thought there was 3. Mr. Arrows in the back can be a bit of an issue, but we took down the other 2 so fast that it's no big deal. Use the pillars to block the great arrows if you need. Not this armor because it doesn't do much blocking, I guess. And just try and close distance as much as you can, because if you can get underneath his legs, then he can't shoot you. So boom, let's go. Another couple of charge attacks for this guy. Yeah, it's so satisfying because these guys have such high defense normally, just when you're hitting them normally. But these flippin' charge attacks are just absolutely owning them. I think also because we already fought the one back up in Leyndell, that earlier on in this walkthrough we went to the teleporting tower that did take us to a part of Leyndell. That one had much more health, so we're kind of like used to that. Now these ones seem super easy. Take the teleporter at the end of the bridge, and that'll take you to, well, the end of the bridge, the other end of the bridge. It'll take you across the broken gap to these nice big pretty doors here. This is the Divine Tower of Limgrave. So all of the big great runes that you can earn have a corresponding great tower. Some are easier than others to traverse and get to the top to their fingers. What's the lore behind this? Like, why do we have to do this? So the fingers, the 2 fingers, law/order or whatever, they're all dead in these divine towers. And if we visit them with the Great Rune, we can sort of purify the Great Rune and turn it into something equipable. Now, I'm sure there's a very fancy pants lore reason for why this is, but you know what? I'm kind of caught with my pants down a little bit, and I don't actually quite know. I know the gameplay side of it, but I don't know why there's dead fingers up here. The story of Elden Ring is flippin' fantastic. And you should definitely check out some story lore channels for this game if you're interested. Here we go. Receive the power of the Great Rune. And that'll give us Godrick's Great Rune, the equipable version, anyway. A key item. But yeah, look at these big, horrible, hairy, dead fingers. Blech. Now, Godrick's Great Rune is equipable at any site of grace. So we're just going to pad on back to this one just here. Now, when you rest, there's a new option just down here, Great Runes. You can equip them. With it equipped, it does nothing. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But it's when you use a rune arc. So the rune arc, a limited resource on use consumable that activates the Great Rune that you have equipped, which you can now see in the top left corner, and it gives you the bonus from that Great Rune. So Godrick's Great Rune will give us a +5 in every single stat while the rune arc is active. Now, rune arcs will be active until death. So it's not something that you can use 100% of the time, but is definitely something that you want to use when you are getting close to a kill on a boss, but you just need that little bit more health, damage, etc. And it will really help you secure some big wins. And that, my friends, is the end of our gargantuan walkthrough episode today. I hope you enjoyed Stormveil Castle, Godrick the Grafted, and enjoyed picking up his Great Rune. Next time, we are heading into Liurnia of the Lakes, which is our next big continent that we're going to start tackling, heading towards our next shard bearer, Renala. Very exciting for a nice change of scenery. Thanks so much for watching. Leave the like if the video helped you, or just if you like us in general. I like you too, by the way. Subscribe to see the next part of the walkthrough first, and I will see you in the next videos.